Hello, my name is Alan Binoy Isaac, and I am a robotics MSc student at the University of Manchester. There are mainly two types of robots, service and industrial robots. Service robots are programmable actuated mechanisms along two or more axes. They can move around and perform various tasks. Applications include providing companionship to people like Pepper and Navo, assistive robots like Jaco, which is a feeding robot, and surgical robots for helping in medical operations. Industrial robots are robotic systems that are automatically controlled, reprogrammable, and multipurpose manipulators. They are programmable along three or more axes and are either fixed on a static platform or a mobile platform. They are used in industrial settings and handle dirty and dangerous tasks. Collaborative robots are a subcategory of industrial robots. They differ from traditional industrial robots because there are no fences to separate the workspaces of the machine and other humans. There is some work collaboration between cobots and humans, typically sequentially. Examples are welding and assembly robots. On the left, we see manipulators being used to unpack and package delicate silicon wafers, and the right diagram shows a Delta robot being deployed in the food industry for picking and placing. In 2015, UN member states adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. What this means is to implement actions to end poverty, protect the planet, and bring peace and prosperity. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, must be achieved to ensure that the world's resources are fairly distributed. Every member state is expected to contribute intellectually, technologically, and financially. The SDGs have been designed to end poverty, hunger, AIDS, and gender discrimination. This diagram shows the 17 SDGs, ranging from no poverty to partnerships for the goals. Robotics can address the SDGs in many ways. Autonomous vehicles like robotaxis could be used for improving transport systems, contributing to SDGs 8, decent work and economic growth, and 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Drones can be used for food delivery or for natural disaster operations, contributing to SDGs 3, good health and well-being, 13, climate action, and 15, life on land. Karma 2 robots are used for detecting radioactive contamination, and they can work in hazardous environments and address SDGs 3, 8, and 9. Robotic surgery enables surgeons to operate with greater dexterity and results in shorter hospital stays, addressing SDGs 3 and 8. We will now be focusing on how robotics can impact SDG 3, that is, good health and well-being. The healthcare sector benefits from robotics in many ways. With robotic surgery, surgeons have better visualization of the operating field, greater range of motion, and reduced risk of infection and blood loss for the patient. AI can be integrated into robots so that they can help with the diagnosis of patients by collecting medical data. People with gait impairments can use exoskeletons for walking, such as this one from Wondercraft. Robots can enhance training for medical staff. Clinical workflows can be streamlined by using robots that transport medicines, food, or laundry. Work environments can be made safer using disinfection robots. These diagrams show some applications of robots. On the top left, we see a surgical robot. Right next to it is a picture of a nursing cobot called NeuroBot. A disinfection robot is shown to the right. A picture of a feeding robot is shown on the bottom left. And to its left, a feeding robot is shown on the bottom right. And to its left, there's a simulated environment of an operation. A robot is a safety critical system. When AI is integrated into a robot, the system can take decisions which sometimes has severe consequences. This raises questions of how we can trust a robot that is commercially deployed and who is to blame in the event of a disaster. The robot cannot be fully blamed, and it is up to developers to integrate ethical software into robots. Researchers must retain transparency by designing the software to avoid unethical outcomes. Unemployment is an issue because robots can replace human workers in sectors like manufacturing. This must be addressed by putting robots to work where they are most efficient and delegating humans for other tasks. System bias is when robots are designed by developers with bad intentions, or when a robot is trained with biased datasets. Ethical frameworks must be put in place by companies to avoid biases. To recap, we covered the types of robots, service and industrial, looked into the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and how robotics can address the SDGs, in particular SDG 3 on good health and well-being. And we finished with an overview with some robotics ethical challenges. I thank you for your time, and I hope I have inspired you with this brief talk on robotics.